Good morning. Whatever the time at your locations, you're welcome to our discussions this time from our various locations. We are here excited again to be with you today to talk one thing, share lived experiences. We know we're going about with a lot of things and necessary to share what we have. My name is Soyan and I'm based in the UK. Together with my other colleagues, we are here to thrill you to something. Just stay put, get a glass of drink, and we will unfold a lot for you tonight. Thank you.
So I'm Edwin. I'm based in Norway. I'm happy to be part of this panel this evening to share lofty ideas with you people that maybe somebody who can connect to this, or maybe you're having a similar situation. Just stay put. I'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank
Wow.
you.
So it's good to be here with you guys. My name is Abu, originally from Ghana, based in Sweden, a full-time mechanical engineer, and also I'm so proud to be in this business. So we hope you will enjoy this moment and listen to what we have today. Back to you, brother. This is brother Fami.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Good, guys, and good evening to everyone. And for those of you that are listening to us, I will ask you to stay tuned. My name is Kwame, originally from the Gambia, but I do now based in the Gambia, and of course, a digital business owner. I will give it back to you, brother Saya. Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much. That introduction there. Yes.
Our brother from Turkey.
Fellow viewers, I'm streaming from Turkey, Istanbul. We're here to discuss some section about ourselves and how to do life activities. We really like the concept.
Thank you very much for that. And probably if you are getting us from wherever you are, just put in our chat where you are watching us from. And if you are watching a replay, do share experiences to share with you tonight. So today we are here to share some of those things. We want to ask ourselves, all of us here, if you rewind your life backward, say 20 or 30 years back, what will you do differently today? This is coming as a result of the fact that we all know that life is full of experiences. And we always appreciate the fact that we do not need to wait to learn from our own. We need to learn from others. And so, if we are here today to highlight some of those things that we would have done differently if we had the opportunity to restart our lives, the rationale is to get those of us that are still on the pathway not to do the same errors that we did, or to be able to have those things that we have found that things would have been better if we had done it, or if we had done it the way we see it today. So we'll get through with this and hoping that this will this will be able to get some information across to you as you watch us. So we know that with the challenges that life comes with, a lot of us we go through some errors which we only realize when we have committed them. And our goal here today is to help those of us out there watching us not to go through the same failures that we did, so that your own version of life should be better than ours. Yes, because myself, for example, when I was growing up from the age of, say, 20 or so, I knew that we had just one thing we were focusing on. We were so much focusing on a lifestyle of conventional education, having a job, having good grades at school, and we remain focused on that path. And after graduation, we dump all the books, no more studies, we are done. That is the kind of system that most of us were exposed to. I went through, and a lot of people are still going through that situation today. But if you have to ask me if I were to restart today, what will I do differently? I will know that first and foremost, it is indispensable to be knowledgeable. It is great to acquire the knowledge as much as you can. You focus on your education rightly when you still have all the time, all the support, and the focus to achieve that. So that by the time you start getting distracted with other life uh, commitments or social interaction, the socials, the this, and so on, you have already accumulated a wealth of knowledge. And after accumulating this wealth of knowledge, you need to know that this knowledge is not wasted. If you had followed a course of education and you are specialized, like whatever field, don't be so stuck in that field, especially in the context of today where you don't end up getting that employment in the field that you have studied in. And a lot of us out there, you get very frustrated and feel that the hope of meeting your dreams are no longer attainable. You don't need to remain that focused, our dear people. You have acquired knowledge. You have got skills and experiences. They are not meant, they make you operate differently if you get involved in anything that you put yourself in, anything that you find. But because you were thinking only in one direction with that initial idea that we came from, you think that anything out of what you studied is not possible. And this situation actually puts us on a disadvantage because when that fails, we get really, really traumatized. Sometimes we feel bad. So diversify, know that you have a wealth of knowledge and skills in you, which if you put them in something else, you will still achieve the goals that you have been dreaming of. So these are some of the things, and I will allow my partners on the other end to also voice a bit because there is quite a lot that we can share here, but I won't take so much time, but hand over to my other colleagues. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, my panelists who have just opened the doors of this particular discussion here, live discussion here this evening. And I want to say thank you, good evening to all of you who are watching us there, wherever you are. Want to say we are happy to be here this evening to share our ideas with you. And as my other panelists just mentioned, I grew up. I'm Edwin. I'm in Norway. I grew up in a community, a society, in which there was that notion that you have to have big certificates, quality education, because you can have a good life. I used to be a very talented footballer. That may be probably because I was discouraged by my parents. I cannot remember, I cannot recount the number of times that I was punished because of going out to play soccer. And today, when I look at other youngsters playing soccer, I just laugh. I say, probably I would have been somewhere now. And some people see me today, they ask me, are you still playing? We have been looking on TV, we don't see you. I say, oh, no, gone are those days. You see, I'm trying to bring here is there's this notion that there's education and there is talent. Everybody has a talent. You may have one or two or more. And these are talents that need to be promoted. But the community where I grew up, they were rather discouraged out from the talent. And everybody was focused on acquiring proper education and certificates. But I want to say, after when growing up, came to a certain level, I came to realize that going to school, acquiring knowledge, and any certificate is one thing. Application of that knowledge, that is where the real life starts. That's where the real life begins. Because your certificate is just a piece of paper, but the knowledge that you gain, that you acquire, is in your brain. So the application of that knowledge is what makes you a proper person. So when I came to realize this, I said, oh, then all these years I was counting, moving with big certificates all the time. They are useful, but how many people with those big certificates will have the same type of jobs that they're looking for? Very few people will end up those positions that are available. But when you have your talent, you have the knowledge plus your talent, you now employ it, use it now creatively to earn a livelihood. And that is where, by the time I came to realize this, it was already getting late. And now I am not playing the soccer, but I am doing other things. I have the certificate, but I have to divert my wisdom, my understanding into doing something else, study something else to have a livelihood. Because what I studied previously, any very big certificate, I was unable to have a job there. So if you are out there thinking, having that same thought in you, it is time for you to diversify. They say, where I come from, they say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify it. Acquire the knowledge and apply the knowledge in anything, and you'll be a better person, and you make a better life and a better livelihood for yourself and a community and a family. So let me give chance to somebody to talk. Be back. I'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much for saying that. From my side, I think I will start from back home and I will make sure it will be fast sharing. When I was back home, I used to work in the gold mining. I said, okay, I think I'm working in the gold mining, but I'm not getting enough pay. My salary is not enough for me. So I have to stay to travel to Europe where many people are traveling and making a good life. I traveled uh, to Europe. My first country was Italy. I lived there for 2 years, working day in, day out, for like 12 hours per day. But I said, no, this is too much. Then I think I need more to move another country where I can get a good job and get more high pay. I moved to Norway. And at the same time, Norway, things were going well, but the cost of living was very expensive, cheap to Sweden at the end. Then I say, okay, if I'm going to only choose country to country and job after job, I know this life, the only way I will go, I don't think the difference will be that bad because if you get high pay, the living cost will be expensive. So I think it's everything has to start from here. I have to rethink about what I want in my life. That's when I start to open my eyes to think about social media because we always want to spend more time on social media to see if we can make something. But majority also want to do something that will make it fast. That was my way of when I started on social media. And then I went to many different things. But I know it opened my eyes to show me that not only job can give me life, because social media, there are so many things I can change my life if I'm willing to take all the necessary things of what I'm supposed to learn. And through that, since 3 years when I came to start on social media with this business, it changed everything for me. It made me and now I gain my hope that everything is possible. If you think only job can give you the life you want, I think it's a much time wasting. So that's what I have for back to you. So I think brother family, take over.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother Abu. Thank you guys so much. You've said so much. Oh, like you guys said, for me, I will also go back home. Growing up and seeing yourself, being excited that when I finish school, you could imagine who you want to be and who you're going to be. But sometimes, or it is not the case. Sometimes, like they said, man propose it and then God decide. It depending where the future take you. So I wanted to be something else, like you said, but then it didn't work out. So I remember this guy saying that make your brain as a sponge because sponge is soak in water. So make your brain like a sponge and learn whatever you can do. And like my brother has said, some of us we learn and we have this certificate, we have this degree, we have this one. But that certificate or the proof of what you learn. But you now have the responsibility to prove that what you learn, you can live up to that standard of your criteria. That's how life goes. Anyway, I find myself in Europe, in a different country, a different culture, where, traveling to this country, especially leaving your family back, it is not easy. And sometimes when you come here, maybe you have a qualification, but sometimes when you come here, even due to some circumstances, that qualification is condemned. It is not even considered. Like the brother has said, that causes some of us to divert. So in that case, you have to be flexible. You should be willing to compromise, to sacrifice some other things. That's why it is good, like we are saying, more skills. Some of the skill we are learning, we think it is it is not beneficial, but you will get to know only when you leave to go somewhere else and find yourself in certain conditions. That's when you realize some of these skills they are useful. Even the little bit you show of that skill, they are useful. So we all have talent, like the brother has said. We learn, we have certificate, we prove that we have degree, but it is also based on your talent. How best you put your talent to use. That's what matters. So if you were in my shoes, if you are in my shoe like I was as a child, growing up few years ago, time fly by so quickly. So I will ask some of you, like I tell some of we were learning, we had plan, we had ambition that who we were going to be, but it is not the case today. So if you are out there learning is good. Education is good. It is a fundamental foundation that build you up that you depend on. It is like when you are learning, you are building a foundation. So when you want to build a house, you build a foundation. Build a foundation that you will in the future build a 4, 5 story on that foundation. Even if you do not at the time have that capacity to build a 2 story, but your foundations should be solid. So just in case you are wanting to extend, so that's how education goes. So it is good to learn, but also we need to learn various skills. Very important, very essential. Well, with that much, I will hand it back to my brother.
Thank you so much for that
You're
wealth
welcome.
of knowledge there. And before we continue, I would like to hear if our colleague at the other end has got something to tell us from his life experience, so that those watching us can pick something that can help themselves to avoid the same errors that maybe he might have made. Thank you. You're welcome, Karen.
Thank you, fellow viewers. As I'm earlier called Keran, when it comes to my past experience, in those days back home, when we used to gather, like from our parents, celebrating our educational success. Let us just like when you pass the first school leaving certificate, they gather, they celebrate you. You go to secondary school, from those same step by step levels, they gather and celebrated you. Graduated from university, they all gather, they hand you all flowers. People come from all family background, we all celebrate. It was a good gesture. Now, when we all go through all those studies, but you see the world today keep changing. So that's why it's always good to have a diverse mindset. You always good to be like a jack of all trade, master of none, while working towards perfection for the new coming innovation that is coming up that we do see. That's why life is full of upgrades. Once you don't upgrade your life, you stay stuck. Because sometimes all what we study in school has been outdated. How will you use some of those things that are already outdated? So you need to diversify your mind. Play along with your mind as you see as the world keep changing. With that so, fellow viewers, you will be stuck elsewhere. As my business colleague, Mr. Nkwame Ellis said, soften your brain like a sponge that can suck and absorb any fruitful things that come along the globe. We keep learning till the day nature calls us. Because with life, once you don't have a diverse mindset, you don't upgrade your standard, your skills, you'll be living like you are still in an ancient world in a stone age, of which the world keep changing and growing faster. Even you are a farmer, you always see how they, they, they come up with upgraded tools that you can use it for farming. If you are a mechanic, they also come up with other upgraded tools that maybe you learned your trade using maybe uh, manual spanners, but today you have other many tools. So if you don't upgrade in any field that you are, knows that there'll be time you will not be able to use the modern tools that they are all more creating. So we should give ourselves, our brain, a room to learn new things. Learning new things is what is changing the world today. Thank you very much. I hand back to my
Thank you
partner.
so much for that brilliant discussions there. And fellow viewers, wherever you are watching, also if you are watching this replay, then do share this brilliant knowledge and ideas that are coming out here so that someone somewhere will be able to benefit from these things that we are sharing, because we don't expect anyone to repeat the same errors that we did before. So we are saying, taking cognizance of all of these things, we can actually agree here that our minds are like gardens. They are like gardens. And what we sow in it is what grows. Let's ask ourselves, are we sowing seeds of positivism, achievements, and progress, or we are sowing seeds of negativism, retrogression, and what have you? Because that is exactly what we get when we sow in our mind. Because what we actually becomes manifests in our brains before manifesting in our real life. So when we put that into consideration, then we're gonna know what we selectively plant in our gardens, which is our minds, so that we get exactly what we want. So, with this, I think there is just a wealth of things that we can share here that we may not even end for the day of today. So, we all know that success is not luck, or it is not a gene that is imprinted in the genetic code of a selected few. It comes by design. It comes by design. The same as failure is not a chance. So, dear viewers, I think to leave you here and promising that we'll always come with more discussions. I don't know if there is anything else, but from my other colleagues of the panel there, I will just request that we reserve more of this discussion for subsequent sessions. But for today, let's appreciate our viewers and those who shall be watching the replay of this for being there and for sharing these bits so that we'll promise to come again with more. So thank you so much for having responded to this call to take part in these discussions, and we promise to come back again. So thank you so much. And